Morning, Bruce back here with you for Ybit. I owe you guys a video on it. So let's take a look at what is happening. And we closed down in Ybit yesterday at 24.98 in our underlying BITO, right? Our Bitcoin commodities futures tracker. And we closed down as well. So 2.73 in BITO, and we only went down 0.83 because we make money on our weeklies. So these are our two, no new trades, so our two current. One of them was at 25.50. So getting down below 25, we started to be in the money on this guy. We're well into the money on the 26. I'll show you, and I'm tracking those, the details on all that. So looking across, we did add some cash into the fund because the share count went up, but they didn't deploy any trades. A lot of times they will take that cash and deploy it right away. But here we are moving into Wednesday with just 3 trading days to go on the synthetics. So on the synthetics, on the weeklies. Actually, there's only 3 trading days on our big losing 29 synthetic, but we didn't add any positions to either one. So let's take a look at holdings, and that'll sum up everything. So there's our shares added, our net assets, closing price of 19.22. It's saying fair value is 19.13. And as you can see here, this synthetic, this 29, we're just getting killed. It's 832,000. I know that doesn't sound big compared to the Conies and Misties and the other ones I cover, and I've seen them on NVIDIA, and you know, they're big numbers when they lose. But still, when you look at the share count, it's a significant loss there. This one is minor because it doesn't expire till June 21. This one likely will get rolled out to 719. I mean, they could roll it to 621, but I don't think so. So our calls were looking much better. Now we've only captured 8%, but before, when we were trading up around 25.50, we were above the money, and when we had put this on, we were lower. So now we collected 102, and if we bought it back, it's 93,000. That's how we know we've captured 8.82%. And on this one, we're almost at the halfway point, right? But it's a look at the volume. This means everything. This means very little because of the contract count, right? So we sold this for 17 and a half, or sorry, we can buy it back now for 17 and a half cents. We put it on for 34. So of that 57.80, we'd only have to pay 29.75. So it's almost unlikely we'll pass 26. Now that would help a lot on the synthetic, and I don't think we'd care about losing this, but it would hurt us on the 102,000. So it's all kind of relative. So here's our tracking, right? Sometimes I do the charts below. I haven't done that here. So I'm from 900,000, 1,100 total loss, got back to only an 800,000 loss. Now we're back to 1,052,000, and that's just volatility for you. So on our weeklies, this is what it looks like, and we stand to gain based on our share count. We've already been paid this 107,780, right? So that represents 25 cents of your payment that we'll get in June. So we don't really want to lose that. So how do we get 100% of it? Well, by Friday, we stay at 25.50 and they can buy it back for a penny or two, right? And since it's so many of the contracts, it constitutes 102,000 of the 107. This other guy is 57.80, and we should get all that. We already have half of it now. So it's minuscule in comparison, as a reminder. So here's all our stats. I changed my arrows to black because it's just too time consuming to change them to red and green, and there didn't appear to be there's an automated way to keep numbers on a conditional setting, but with these arrows there's nothing that I could figure out. So here's our chart, not updated since 5/13, so you can tell we're trading down here right at the midpoint between the 25 and 26 line. So we've been there before. No significant volume in here in the last day, so we really want to break out of this bull flag. I'm seeing some positive things in BTC charts. So on the next day, and anybody, if you want to see that, watch Coney. I thought I had it in Coney and Misty, but when I copied it from Coney to Misty, it moved it instead of copied it for a tab. So when I did Misty, I had to apologize for not having. I got 4 different views of BTC. And since this is very BTC centric, I'll move these in here into a tab, and I'll go, and then I paste all the charts in here and give you all the analysis. So it's looking better and better for Bitcoin all along. I'm looking this morning, it's up to 63. Here is what you can see on BITO. So BITO in pre-market here with 2.5 hours to go is trading up near 25.50. Love seeing it up. Don't want it to go past 25.50 on Friday. I'm greedy. I want to collect all that weekly premium. So speaking of that, how does that look? So when we saw holdings, let's look at payment. All right, so here's how we set. You see our share count. What I did, as a reminder, anybody that's new is watching it, I took April and I took May, and I just put it in June. These aren't really June numbers, but since I got 2 numbers to add together, I could have stuck them all into May. I'm just using June to add them up, and then I'll show them as the final in May, right? This was earned in April, this was earned in May. Why is that even done that way? Well, we came in late April, we being YBit, so they're not going to pay a distribution. They don't have enough time to collect it with 5 or 6 trading days in April. So let's look at that April tab. Yeah, we came in on the 23rd, and technically these 3 days up until declaration we count as April. So it had all of 9 trading days or something. So those stats are all setting in April. And then I got my May stats. So I just added them together. Now the bad news is we got this $29 synthetic because that's what they chose the first month. Now we collected revenue along the way, right? Because we were selling our put for a lot more money than we were buying our call. But ultimately you pay the piper. So there's an $832,000 loss. So what does that look like here? If you look at it, that's about $2, right? It is $2 because, well, it's slightly less. $2 would be $850,000. So it's $1.80 that all of a sudden, well, actually this is showing 262 on 774. But yeah, so it's about enough of a loss to significantly wipe this out, right? This synthetic gain of 500,000, if we take an 800 loss on Friday, that'll make this, this is actually a gain of 500,000. I know it's negative, but so this won't be a gain at all. So we'll be back to our weeklies. That won't change, right? All the weeklies we've captured will keep going toward our payment. It doesn't matter if we lose money over here. Sometimes if the money loss here is big enough on the synthetic, right? And again, I'm circling this as this is all synthetic. It isn't, right? The 81 gets subtracted from the 262 to tell you how much the 517 is, right? And the reason this is done is because Yield-Max, as Flat said, they try to target and earn the premiums on the covered calls. They call them covered calls, but they're really naked calls, but they're sort of covering that they're long a synthetic. So I guess we could allow a covered call, but by all other covered call definitions are not covered calls. They write those calls and they hope they don't run by them and they don't get capped and lose a bunch of money. That's the truth. And we're at 81 cents. That doesn't go away. That isn't impacted at all. And then once we roll that synthetic into a lower, like a 26 or 26.5 or something, we can capture, by moving up slowly, synthetic income along with our weekly income. So we'll be in a better situation. Misty went through that and everything was fine. So I hope that helps. I'm looking for $1 to $2 for this thing to pay, and especially since we run all the way to June 5, right? So we're going to have 3 more weeklies. We should be able to run this. This is where it's tracked. We should be able to run this number up substantially. Now this includes that 108, 107, right? So we want 3 more of those, and if people buy into the fund and BTC starts moving, we could have a lot more income here to get up to the $2 range. All right, hope that helps. That's the update for YBIT. I owe you guys some BTC charts, some technical analysis, but if you really want to go see it, go watch my Coney upload that I did earlier today. I broke Coney and Misty apart, and Coney I had all the BTC charts that I shared. Okay, Bruce out. Thanks. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. If you need financial advice, seek a professional. This is for fun and education only. Okay, see ya. Bye.